Test, test, test. We Gucci. Okay. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Katie on here, and welcome to another episode of Channel K. I'm so excited for you guys to be here today. We actually just got a ton of new supporters. So a shout out to everybody who recently came in from TikTok, and I believe a lot of you guys have been coming in from Facebook too. You might have recognized me from this video right here. I've discovered that my sensitivity and my empathy it's a strength. So if anybody else out there is very sensitive, and if you're an empath, you're awesome and you're the shit and you have like a cheat code in life. But it does come with a cost if you aren't aware of your energy and if you're not operating from a high level of self-esteem. When I was operating from a low vibration and I felt like I needed to fix everybody, please everybody, keep the peace, just do whatever everybody said so that there would be no drama. It was probably the lowest point of my life ever. And I wasn't conscious of it. I thought things were fine. But the truth is, when you operate as a people pleaser and you're running around doing what everyone says that you need to do, there aren't too many people that respect you, including yourself. I remember the original version of that video. I remember recording it, sitting right here and being nervous as hell to talk about being an empath, to talk about my emotions, to talk about the fact that I'm sensitive, because it's not like celebrated in society to be open about your emotions and to unpack them and understand them. And to my core, I've always been very sensitive, and, you know, we're taught to be ashamed of our sensitivity sometimes. And fuck that. I always say this, your sensitivity is a strength. I am so blessed for this gift to be able to feel and express my emotions. So I've actually had to learn over the years how to manage my level of sensitivity because I'm very sensitive, and I've had to learn how to manage my level of empathy that I give to others. And I've really just had to learn how to protect my energy, set the right amount of boundaries, and learn how to spend time filling my own cup. If I am just scattered, doing a whole bunch of things spread thin at one time, then I will be stressed. I will get drained. I will have a breakdown. Like it's just a lot. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips that will help you set boundaries as an empath. First things first, we're going to get into the definition of an empath. So an empath is a person who has a heightened ability to sense and feel the emotions of others. Empaths are often very sensitive to the emotions of those around them and may take on some emotions as their own. Empaths can be affected by negative emotions such as stress or anxiety and may find it challenging to be in crowds or around people with heavy, intense emotions. So empathy is a natural human trait, but some people may have a stronger or more sensitive empathic nature than others. Being an empath is a wonderful gift, allowing you to connect with others, understand their experiences, and show them compassion. Being an empath is amazing because as an empath, you walk around this universe and you see everything through the eyes of source energy or God. If you ask me, that is just the ultimate superpower. Being an empath can have its challenges. So when you're not aware of your energy, when you're not really paying attention to what's going on within, you might become overwhelmed by the emotions of others, the behavior of others, and the energy of others. So it's important to set boundaries. And this is one thing that empaths struggle with sometimes because we are so loving and we're so caring that we just want what's best for others. And we do whatever we can to see others happy. And, we love to be of service to other people. And especially because we can understand the emotions of others. We can understand their struggle. We can understand why they need what they need. So, yeah. But it is also very important to make sure we're looking out for ourselves and we're setting healthy boundaries so that we can tend to our own needs. And through trial and error, I've come up with a few ways to manage my sensitivity and my empathy in the most favorable way, not only in my personal life, but also in my professional life. And it hasn't been easy, but it ultimately falls back down to how much you're loving yourself and how much you're valuing your own time, your own energy, your own mindset, your own health, happiness, wellness, sanity, all the things. And as I've grown on my self-development journey, as I've really explored myself a little bit more, I've learned to value myself. And I've really just learned to prioritize myself, my own needs, and my emotions. It's hard to make everything make sense in my universe and my reality, in my world, if I am not really at peace with myself. When I'm at peace with myself, everything falls into place. But if I'm skipping over myself and making sure everybody else has, what they need or whatever, like I just will eventually have a mental breakdown. It's the truth. Like, I know I'm laughing, but like I literally will have a breakdown, or I'll pop off on somebody, or I'll do something out of character, because I've just like stretched my energy so thin, and my energy is like split in all these different places. Through the contrast, I have learned how to set healthy boundaries so that I can love, prioritize, and respect myself. So let's go ahead and get into some of these tips. So first things first, I think it's very important to identify your needs. You want to keep in mind that it's important to know what your needs are in order to set effective boundaries. So you want to take some time to yourself, whether that's through a meditation, quiet time, you go for a walk, and you really just want to reflect on what's happening in your reality right now. Like, what situations, what people, what circumstances are draining you, bringing you negative energy, what is frustrating you, and what are some things that have you stressed out, anxious. Really just take note on what's happening in your reality. And so you really just want to like give yourself a chance to check in with you. That's the first step. So that is one of the things that I feel like we don't do enough. We don't check in on ourselves enough. And it is so wild because it only takes 10 to 15 minutes to have a short meditation, really just analyze what's happening in your reality. Are you happy? Are the things that are playing out in your reality bringing you happiness? Are they bringing you peace? Or are they stressing you out? So what I like to do is just spend some time. Literally, there's no one here. So I was going to say spend some alone time. But I make it a point to actually like spend about 20 minutes every morning journaling, or I will read a few pages out of one of my Neville Goddard book, or I will listen to an Abraham Hicks piece of content. I'll do a face mask in the morning, but I'm just literally giving myself time to think about nothing or reflect on how I want my day to go. And so meditation, I always say this, but meditation is important. I love to go on walks. The weather has actually been getting a lot better. So I've been going on my walks again. I went on a walk yesterday and it was so healing. Being in nature is literally the best energy because it's like you have the natural energy from the sun literally right on you and the trees. I live in a very naturey part of town. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but there's a lake. You can just see the birds and chipmunks and squirrels, and it's just such a vibe. You want to give yourself a chance to reflect on what's going on in your reality and ask yourself if the things that are playing out are bringing you happiness or are they bringing you stress? And you want to be honest with yourself about this. Okay, so the next tip is to practice communicating clearly. So when it's time to set those boundaries, you want to be clear, direct, and confident about what boundaries you are setting. I don't know if you guys can hear, like there's the birds are chirping. But yeah, you guys want to be clear and concise, and you want to stand on how you feel. And you want to make sure that the other party understands where you stand with this boundary. They don't have to like it. They don't have to agree with it, but they need to understand that you are setting a boundary. It needs to be clear. And you need to leave the situation feeling settled and feeling at ease with the decision that you made. So I like to practice communicating clearly. Sometimes I do it in the mirror. So I like to use I statements when I'm expressing my feelings. So for example, I need some space right now. I need to focus on myself at this time. I don't have enough room on my plate to take on another project. So I always just say I don't involve other people. I don't use excuses. I just keep it clear, concise, and straight to the point. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I used to struggle with shyness and nervousness, and I still kind of do in some situations. Like, I'm human, those emotions still come up. I have been doing the work, so I am getting better at communicating. But I like to practice in the mirror, and I literally will look at the mirror, stare at myself, and pretend like I am speaking to someone else. This really helps me with eye contact. This really helps me with confidence. This really helps me to just say what I need to say, not overthink, not take people to Pluto and back just to prove a point. I literally just say how I feel straight up. I don't have enough room on my plate to take on this project at this time. Yeah, you just got to keep it real. Not only do I practice communicating clearly, but I also practice saying no. And this is something that I used to struggle with a ton because that empathy would kick in. Like, I used to have this feeling that if I say no, then something's going to go wrong and then it's going to be my fault. Or if I say no, then someone's going to be mad at me and I'm going to lose out on the opportunity of having this friendship, connection, work relationship, whatever. I used to just feel so terrible about letting people down. I just felt like I would bear the guilt of disappointing someone or literally saying no. I don't know why I would feel this heavy obligation to save people or to help people or to fix everything. I just put all that energy on myself, and it was just completely unnecessary, and it used to cause me a ton of stress. So yeah, I've been practicing saying no. As an empath, you may feel guilty or responsible for others' feelings, which can make it difficult to say no. However, you have to remember that setting boundaries is a form of doing what's best for you because you're saying no to something that doesn't align with who you are. It doesn't align with your goals, your values, your morals, your whatever at this time. And why would you want to entertain energy that is not in alignment with yourself? That's not self-love. It's not prioritizing your needs. You're not happy. You're clearly caring more about how someone else feels. And the lesson here is you have not been prioritizing your needs. The lesson is that you've been avoiding your own needs. You've been neglecting your own needs, and you've been serving someone else. And you have to ask yourself, how is this working out for me energetically? How is this working out for my mood? How is this working out for my life? Am I happy? Am I truly getting what I want? Are my desires truly being met as long as I am serving someone else, another person? What is that doing for you? You kind of just have to have that conversation with yourself and remind yourself that it is okay to set the boundaries. And yes, it might feel weird in the beginning, but as you continue to work on yourself, you develop a sacred, profound, deep, very special and unique, powerful relationship with yourself. And you recognize your true worth and value, and you truly start to value your own energy, your own emotions. You really start to care about how you feel. Because you know how to honor yourself, and you start to recognize the importance of healing your own wounds and solving your own problems and living your best life, So setting boundaries can be hard. They can be difficult. You can feel guilty in the beginning, but it's only because you're not used to a behavior of doing what's best for you. It feels uncomfortable. It feels unfamiliar. So you almost don't want to tap into the unfamiliar energy. But once you tap in, you're going to love it. And it's going to be beneficial to you and so favorable and just so life-changing that you're literally going to be like, oh my gosh, like, why haven't I been prioritizing myself this whole time? And it's okay. Everybody's journey is different. We all learn different things at different times, but it's the journey, the work is eternal. Like, I literally put that in a comment somewhere, and mad people were like liking it. And I was like, okay, so y'all get it. Y'all get it. But yeah, you just have to remember that it's okay to say no. And you can be polite when you say no. I have a couple of polite ways to say no. Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm unable to commit to that right now. I appreciate the opportunity, but I need to prioritize my own needs right now. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to make it this time. I hope you understand. I am flattered, but I don't think it's the best fit for me right now. I'd love to help, but I'm already stretched pretty thin. Is there any other way that we can support each other? I appreciate your offer, but I think it's best for me to focus on my own well-being at this time. So just remember that it is okay to say no so that you can prioritize your own needs. Like, what I'm trying to get you to understand is that you matter, your needs matter, your emotions matter, your energy matters, your health and well-being matters. And yes, everyone else's does as well, but truly the only person who can look out for you is you. Like, you have to take yourself with you wherever you go for the rest of your life. So you need to develop the habit of looking out for you and prioritizing yourself and your own needs. And it is 100% okay. It doesn't mean that you're just like, fuck everybody else. It just means that you're like, wait a second, everyone else. Let me actually go within and make sure that I am okay so that I can be equipped to help you. You want to make sure that your ship isn't sinking while you're helping other people. Just, save yourself, make sure you're good, and then you can help others. I like to keep it cute. I like to be respectful and kind no matter what I do. And usually that has a really great effect on people. Like, positivity will take you very far in life. Smiling, being honest, you know what I mean? And I also just like have gotten to a place where I detach myself from the outcome. As far as like when I set boundaries, I used to be so like, oh my gosh, I hope they're not going to be mad. I hope they're not going to like hate me. Like, I literally have let that go because it doesn't even matter what the other person is thinking. What's more important is how you're treating yourself. And sure, you will come across people who are going to be pissed off about you doing what's best for you because they're so used to you being that people pleaser, right? They're so used to you being an empath and caring about them so much, right? And they're just so used to you being the sensitive, nice, kind person. And you can still be that. But honestly, if someone can't understand or process or like even respect the fact that you need time for yourself, then you kind of have to ask yourself if this person is even worth being in your energy, if they don't even understand that it's important for you to value yourself. So you kind of have to think that through and watch for that. Like, I literally set boundaries with, I literally just broke up with him, but a guy that I was seeing recently. And when I was on the phone with him, like, I literally, was like, hey, like, I want to express myself and I want to, share with you where I'm basically at right now emotionally. And, he was like, okay, go ahead. And I was like, at this time, I think it's really important for me to just go ahead and focus on and then he fucking hung up on me. Like, he fucking hung up in my face and couldn't even like process the fact that like, he didn't even want to hear it. I was kind of like going crazy for a minute because I felt like I was giving away a lot of my energy to him, so much so that I felt drained. I felt overwhelmed. My hair started shedding. Like, guys, when I get into my stressed empath state, I know I can recognize it. I will lose weight. I get really weak. My hair starts to shed. Like, I get these massive headaches because I'm thinking so fucking much, like insomnia. Like, I just know the signs because I've been a people pleaser a lot more than I've been in my power in my life. So I just know myself because I've experienced the contrast. But yeah, so needless to say, like, he's no longer a part of my fucking life. Because he just couldn't handle the fact that, like, I need time to meditate. I need time to do my affirmations. I love myself. I am on a path of self-development, empowerment, and I want to keep evolving every day. And like, that is just who I am. And like, I do need to set boundaries so that I can check in with myself and ask myself, yo, like, is this even worth your fucking time? Are you happy? Are you enjoying your life? Are you really getting out the energy that you've been putting in? Like, what's the return on your investment? You know, like, it's so important to check in with you. Like I said before, like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. And I want to live my best life and I want to enjoy myself. And, you know, as you grow, you recognize what's important to you. So I know I just went on like a whole like rampage, but I have a few more. Okay. Sorry, I like got lost in my notes. Like, where am I? So this one helps me. I like to use visualization. I like to create a positive scene in my mind before I even go to whatever meeting, or, you know, before I even interact with this person that I'm setting the boundary with. So I like to visualize the best possible conversation where the person is understanding what I'm saying and is really handling the matter well and is really respecting where I'm coming from and is really open to listening and really just kind of like understanding that what my needs are. Like, you don't have to explain to them like your needs, but like, you just want to be heard, you want to be understood, and you want to be respected. And so I just visualize the best possible scenario of the person understanding me, the person respecting me, and the person accepting like where I'm coming from and going ahead and just being like, okay, like, I feel you. That makes so much sense. So I literally will just like visualize me talking to the person and me saying exactly what I want to say, and the other person responding so well and being like, oh my goodness, like, I had no idea you felt this way. I'm so glad that you checked in with yourself and really got some clarity and really just articulated everything and explained yourself. Like, I love that we have this open, honest communication. Thank you. I respect the boundary, and I just know that this is going to be so good for you. And like, I mean, just whatever, like, you can play it out however you want. But I just always like to assume and affirm that people understand where I'm coming from and that I am respected no matter what I am requesting or whatever. So before entering a potentially overwhelming situation, try to visualize yourself setting and maintaining your boundary and standing on it. And you want to imagine yourself feeling calm, relaxed, and clear-minded and confident about expressing this boundary. The thing is, I've had to practice this a couple of times. Like I said, the mirror work is on point, and visualization is literally everything. But yeah, these steps help because like in the past, like I remember I wanted to leave a job so badly because it was like I was being used literally for my talents, and I was being paid basically pennies, and I was basically building someone else's platform, and I just wasn't being appreciated. The pay was low, the demands were high and ridiculous. I didn't have any days off. Well, I had days off. I didn't have many days off. I didn't have many days for vacation. I remember like working on my birthday. Like, it was just a very stressful job. And I was so nervous because my boss was a narcissist. I don't like to use terms, you guys. I don't really like to use terms as much as I used to, like labels, as much as I used to, but he was an asshole, definitely. And he definitely knew my worth and value, or knew that I had potential, but never wanted me to like see it, or he never like empowered me. And I figured that out when I did leave the job. But I just remember that I was like ready to quit. I remember deciding like the night before or something. I was like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to quit because I just can't. I can't. Like, fuck this shit. Like, I am being disrespected. Like, everything is passive aggressive. Like I just feel so small in this position. I am not like being honored for my worth and value. I'm not being celebrated. I'm not being respected. Like I'm literally quitting tomorrow. And so I didn't properly like prepare or, like I'm sure I definitely like had something in mind, like prepared to say or whatever. I definitely did, like knowing me, I wouldn't just show up and just be like, all right, I quit. Like I literally prepared like my statement or whatever the fuck. I remember driving all the way to work that day. It was an off day. I mean, I wasn't supposed to work that day or something. Anyway, I asked him, I was like, hey, can we, do you mind like stepping outside for a second, so I can talk to you or whatever. And I remember expressing everything. I was like, I appreciate everything. I'm grateful for the position, but it's just not in alignment with my higher self. I remember saying that, like, which was so powerful for me to say back then. It's so funny. But I remember saying that. And I remember him saying like, he literally responded and said, I just feel like you're being so ungrateful right now. I just feel like I've given you so much, and for you to just respond this way is just so unlike you. There have been things that you have said you were going to do and you haven't done, like, just kind of like confusing me and trying to like play on my insecurities a little bit as a creator. And then I started to feel really insecure, and I was like, no, I am grateful. That's why I said that I'm grateful, and I appreciate the position, and you have done things for me, and thank you for that. But I just feel as though like the energy that I feel when I'm at the job, it's a stressful environment. And he cut me off and was like, do you have some time? You have a minute? And I was like, yeah, I have a minute. And he's like, let's go over here and sit down and talk for a little bit. And so in the middle of me expressing myself, trying to articulate, why I don't like the job, why the job is harmful to my energy, why I'm uncomfortable, he cuts me off and deflects from what I'm saying, walks me around the corner to like a little, like a bench or something. And then he starts to ask me like about my childhood or something. He was able to kind of just like use certain tactics to deflect from what it is I was trying to do, which was quit the job, like set the boundary and just move on with my life, because the job was not bringing me happiness. It was a very horrible experience. I'm not going to go into it anymore, but like, yeah, I remember he sat me down and he was like, you know what? How about this? How about you rethink whatever it is that you came here to say? Go home, sleep on it, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. And so I remember that I literally agreed with him. I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. You're right. I'll do that. I remember giving him a hug, and I remember thinking like, wow, he made me feel so much better. Like, oh my gosh, he made me feel so much better. Oh, okay. Like I feel good. So I remember going home and like making dinner, just finishing off my day or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Okay, like I can stay at the job. Like I was just overthinking. I was whatever. I was just like being dramatic. I don't know why I even like thought that like the job wasn't for me. But then a few weeks later, I still wanted to quit the job because nothing changed. I was still being disrespected. I was still overworked, underpaid. I was still pleasing everybody else. I was still being walked all over. And so in hindsight, that conversation with the boss would have gone a little bit better if I would have been more firm in my decision, if I would have been less emotional, if I would have been, and being emotional is fine, but when it's time to make decisions that are going to determine the outcome of your energy and your well-being, you have to take some emotions out of it, and you have to really tap into the logic of what's best for you. If I was a little bit more prepared energetically, if I was a little bit more confident, if I felt a little bit stronger, I don't really like to use the term strong or weak or whatever, but if I was like more in alignment with what's best for me, that conversation would have been very short. It would have been very straight to the point, and I would have quit the job. I would have been gone from the job a lot sooner. I would have left the job a lot sooner. But my people pleasing energy, my empathic energy, just me being a little worried, and granted I was gaslit, you know what I mean? And so, I was made to feel like, oh my gosh, like what if I haven't been doing the best job at this? What if I haven't been working hard enough? What if, even though I've had no vacation days, even though I'm here all the fucking time, even though I've been nothing but nice, even though, what if I'm really not doing a good job? Like, what if I'm really not a good worker? Like, I let my insecurities get in the way. I let my not wanting to disappoint others vibe get in the way of me really wanting to do what's best for me. I feel like when I finally left the job, it was like, oh, you know what? I manifested quitting the job in like the most unique way. It was like COVID was happening and like things were changing with the way the company was playing out or whatever. And so like, I remember like being like not having to work as much for them, like, or something, or like, this was when I was like freelancing. Like I was a like videographer, editor, and like for other businesses. And like, I just remember COVID kind of like helps the separation, like, take place. But finally, I just remember sending a text being like, yeah, thank you, but like, this is not in alignment with my higher self. I remember saying that exact sentence. And then, like, I remember the boss texting back and like gaslighting me, being like, are you okay? Like, I don't know what's going on right now, but I hope you feel better. Like, so anyway, I was just like, okay, cool. Like, fuck you. Like, but yeah, I'm a lot better at setting boundaries these days because I detach myself from how the other person is going to react. Because when you're constantly thinking or fearing or trying to predict the outcome of like how the other party is going to respond, then in a sense, you're creating that to manifest. You're manifesting that energy. And so you want to be careful about, that, and you want to just focus on yourself and what's best for you. So that's what I do these days. And you also want to remember that setting boundaries is a process. It's going to take time, patience. You're going to need some practice. Some experiences will be easier than others. But ultimately, it's all leading you towards becoming a better version of yourself. And you will thank yourself later every time you make a more difficult decision, or every time you overcome another obstacle or another challenge, or when it's time to awkwardly have a conversation with someone new, and letting them know that, hey, like, you're going to pull back some of your energy, or you're going to pull back all of your energy, whatever is the decision on the type of boundary or whatever. Just the more you set boundaries, the more you make those tough decisions that are in favor of yourself, you will become a more embodied, more empowered, more evolved version of yourself. And along the empath journey, when you are empowered, you are a badass motherfucker. Like, nobody can fuck with you. You know yourself. You understand your emotions. You understand what your needs are. You are clear on what is too much for you. You're clear on what is going to set you off. Like, you just know how to move and groove, and you understand your energy. And that is a superpower, especially as an empath. So you want to make the decisions that are best for you as often as you possibly can. And I will say, I have let a lot of people go, and it's okay, because a lot of powerful, positive, loving, empathic people have come into my reality once I have let go of the ones who aren't in alignment with me. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. Sometimes it does. But, some people aren't meant for your journey, and that is okay. So by setting and maintaining clear boundaries, you can better manage your empathic nature and protect your energy and your well-being. And like I said, you take yourself everywhere in this life. You literally carry yourself, your energy, your soul with you every place you go. And you just want to be at peace. You want to have inner peace with yourself. And you always want to just feel good. Like, so, Embrace being an empath. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I promise you that. So, like I said before, your sensitivity is a strength. Your sensitivity is a superpower. Your empathic nature is a gift, and you can transform the universe by being more of who you are. So, if you take nothing from this video, take this. Please do the best you can to learn who you are, explore who you are, and express who you are unapologetically. As long as you are loving yourself and others and not causing harm to this world, you are going to be a shining light in this universe just by being you. Empathy is a natural and important human trait, and it allows us to connect with others, understand their experiences, and show compassion. Being an empath allows you to form deep connections with others. And the thing that I love about being an empath is that I instantly develop like a very deep rooted, oh my gosh, like I fuck with you the long way type of bond with people. I have just like made some of the best friends along this journey. I've attracted very high vibrational, very introspective, very honest, very positive, loving, gentle people. Not many, but it's okay because I don't need no big ass circle. I like to keep my circle small. But along this journey, yes, I have repelled the people who don't vibe with me, and that's okay because I have attracted the people that do. And once you meet people who truly understand the law and truly understand who they are, it's just like words could never express that. So, so those are all of my tips for setting boundaries as an empath. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. Definitely hit me up with any questions that you guys might have in regards to the content. I'm always in my DMs over on my Instagram at Channel K, and I'm always answering comments on my TikTok at Just Channel K. So I also made a Facebook page so that we can come together as a community, you guys. So that is going to be facebook.com/Channel K. So join me over there for sure. If you guys like when I get into topics on empaths, definitely give this a thumbs up. Definitely let me know. Like I said, I'm very active on all accounts. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. I intend that this video resonated, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye guys. I love you guys.